I have been waiting to film this video like all day, because like every time I go to film a video, it just happens to be the day and time that they start mowing the yard outside. But I can still hear the mowers, but they are far in the distance, so they are not near my building anymore. It's been a good half hour since I've heard them directly outside my window, so they shouldn't be back, and I can hopefully film a video. Anyways, we have the Tinkaton EX Battle Deck here. As I like to say whenever I do these little deck reviews, this channel is primarily for entertainment. It's not really here for you guys to learn about how to use these decks. If you're curious about what's in here and you already kind of have your own knowledge, or you're just curious as to what it's like, then you've come to the right channel. If you've come to see a professional tell you what cards in here are good, which ones you swap out, and the purpose of this deck, you've come to the wrong place. As I don't really play the card game all that much, I've been trying to get into it, but I'll get into it for like a week and then fall off again, and then back into it for a week and fall off again. Of course, it comes with a little playmat here, which makes sense. Also, a slightly different theme on that little poster display there on the back. But of course, with this deck being a play level 1 down there, it makes sense it would come with a paper playmat to show you where to place everything. Anyways, you have the quick start rolls, I believe are just the generic rolls from Scarlet and Violet with a different front and back. Yeah, I already did show you guys the coin, so the final thing is the little basically advertisement kind of telling you what the deck do. This one's actually for Chine Pal, this one's for Tinkaton. I was actually told whenever I bought this, that this deck, or at the very least this Pokeboy here, is actually more competitively viable. However, just by, you know, my poor grasp of the TCG, this one seems to be more useful, and I actually bought the last deck that they had there of Tinkaton, and I still had a couple of my little guy there left. Like, I like this guy more, but like, I don't know. I wonder what the competitive viability difference is between the two. Of course, it comes with some of these guys. Then we have the little, just like, general reference roll cards here. And finally, we get down to the deck. So, of course, there's the code card for the whole deck. Oh, I do actually want to look at the deck box itself as well. I still hate that they're not doing any kind of theming there. In fact, it's just green this time around. Yeah, so no matter how you display this, you're not going to have any idea. In fact, this one has, like, no theming at all. Nowhere on here does it even say EX Battle Deck. It's just blank. It just has the psychic energy there. And then that's the only wording is there on the bottom. This is like the worst deck box I've seen. So anyways, our main star of the show here is the Tinkaton with a massive 300 HP, meaning it's going to be pretty hard to take out. But it's the big hammer right here that really interested me. This attack does 30 damage for each card in your hand. If you can, like, cycle your deck good and keep a large hand with this guy active, you won't even need the 3 energy to do the 140 damage, because it won't be as useful as hitting, a good 300 damage with enough cards in your hand. Its other ability is Pulverizing Press for 140. This attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so that could be useful. But I don't know, I'd really love to see how you could work around using that big hammer. But we do have a bunch of basic energies here, as you would expect. Wow, they're actually throwing them all at the front, it seems. It's rare that they do that, at least to my memory. So of course, you gotta be able to evolve your way up. So we have Collect, which lets you draw a card, and Corkscrew Punch. We got 4 of that guy. Then we have the Drifloon, 10 damage with Gust, and 30x. Its attack does 30 damage for each counter on this Pokemon. So, similar idea, but more relies on you doing poorly. But could still be useful. Draw 3 cards, of course, you have to have that. You have the Great Ball, have to have that as well. Tinkatuff, so whenever it evolves, it can now just do a straight 30 damage for only 1 energy. But for 80 damage, it takes 2 energies. During your next turn, this Pokemon can attack. Kind of makes sense, but I mean, for the energy cost of 2 being 80 damage, it's a decent little nerf on it. But it is also an evolved form, so I don't know. But you got 3 of that. You have Drifblim, Gust for 30, and Curse Spreading. Put 8 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way that you would like. That's pretty aggressive. That's okay. I'm starting to understand why you have Drifloon in there. A Spartha, 20 damage during your opponent's next turn. The defending Pokemon can't retreat. And Psychic, 30 plus. This attack does 50 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. I've definitely had this guy used against me, but I haven't ever used him myself. Fiddle, spinning attack for 20. You have Youngster, shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 5 cards. Nest Ball, search your deck for basic Pokemon and put it into your bench, then shuffle your deck. Pal Pad, shuffle up to 2 supporter cards from your discard pile into your deck. Pokegear 3.0, we have Switch, of course, Squawkabilly. So of course, yeah, this is the one that lets you call 2 basic Pokemon to your bench. So very similar, but not quite as powerful as, what's it called? Tandem Unit. Tandem Unit, that's the name, right? Am I getting that wrong? I don't think it's Tandem Unit. It's the Miraidon ability. Here it is. I should know that. It's like the deck that I use. I forgot the name. Fly, flip a coin. If this attack, if Tails' attack does nothing, if Heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done from the effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. So, interesting. Search your deck for 2 evolution Pokemon, reveal them, put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck, and finally energy retrieval. So there were definitely a good amount of like kind of deck hand cycling cards in there, which would be useful obviously for getting Tinkaton to multiply that damage, as we talked about there in the beginning, for that 30 times multiplier. If I had to guess just from my first initial run through this deck, there isn't enough in here that would allow you to stack your hand to make, well, to really make Big Hammer more useful than Pulverizing Press. I could be wrong, as I, just opened the deck for the first time. I've actually got to try it out. Although eventually, me and my girlfriend will be playing with these decks, as we like to use these pre-made decks and do some little skirmishes. And I am interested to try this one out. I'm really interested in that Big Hammer ability. How far you can really take that. Could you get it to, like, to where you're swinging for 300 every time? Being able to take out things like this Tinkaton itself. But it is now time for the bonus card of the day, and this has actually evolved a little bit. So in what should have been my last video, unless something ended up skipping the track, we pulled our final bonus card of the day. And I have now evolved what we consider bonus card of the day. Most of these will still be cards that I bought as singles specifically to go in this segment. But there are going to be a few changes. My girlfriend does a bunch of artsy things, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler. And yeah, you don't just have standard cards in there anymore. She's been working on some stuff, and we're going to start throwing it in this box. Of course, it's still random what video they'll end up in, so I don't even know if this video is going to end up with one or not, because I always draw from the back, and they're kind of shuffled around. But aside from that, I'm also including some cards where she'll buy packs and stuff and open them, not on camera. And so if we get like a really good card, I'm going to throw it in there as well. If it's a card that we haven't pulled on camera before. So this looks like a modern one. This might actually be the exact thing that I just described. Let's see. And it is, yes. This came from a pack that she opened, I think. This might have been one that I bought. Oh, I really don't remember. I don't think I purchased this one. I'm pretty sure this is one that she pulled out of a single pack. But we have the Dedenne EX here in the bonus card of the day. Now understand that with those things being changed, I'm not trying to pad this thing out. We're still getting some interesting things in here. There still isn't that much in there. There's just 2 thicker cards. But Dedenne EX, very happy to have this full art boy, as the standard EXs from Scarlet and Violet don't really seem to be worth that much. Hopefully some of these full arts definitely bring up that value a bit. But if you all enjoyed this video, click that button down below. Maybe go check out some other videos. I'm going to have some on screen here, including a playlist of all of my Pokemon videos if you feel like binging. I've also been working on reviving my original YouTube channel, which I had left idle for about a year. Those are longer, more, well, I don't necessarily say longer. Those are more like heavily scripted and edited, and those videos take me a long time to film and get put out, and writing the script and yada yada. So feel free to go check those out. It's a little bit different than the things that you'll experience here, where pretty much everything is just done off the cuff. I really do hope that you guys have enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see all of y'all next time. Goodbye for now.